Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the farm. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm coming to you from underneath the pig pen here, and you can see the old outhouse. But anyhow, it's a beautiful day out here, and you can tell spring has sprung by taking a look at the hillside there. We had a crazy cold front come through, and it's only about 40 degrees today, which is why I have my hat on. It's kind of crazy for the middle of April in Tennessee. Normally it doesn't get down that cold. It actually got into the 30s last night. Other than that, it's been pretty much been in like the 70s every day here. Once in a while in like the 60s. But yeah, a crazy cold front came through. Always brings tons of wind up through here on the hill where I'm at. But anyhow, wanted to give you some context for this video. This is going to be a collection of maybe like 5 or 6 different metal detecting hunts I did this year that I never posted to the channel. Either there wasn't enough footage to justify a video, or there wasn't, enough of a story. Something like that. Just a bunch of footage put together. And some of it's good, just nothing lengthy enough to make a video of itself. So it will be in context as the video goes. I'll show you, where I was hunting, so you can sort of understand where the finds came from. But anyhow, while I have you under here, I've been cleaning this out so there's not as many like insects and wasps and stuff like that over the summer. And keeping my eyes peeled and pulling out all this stuff. I got like a piece of a bowl, some pottery, just like a chain from an old chainsaw, and other bits and bobs that I've been picking up. You never know what could be under here, because it's just on this side here, from that little patch right here up to about that point is where I found some colonial relics on the property, including my Civil War breastplate. So you never know if some of the colonial relics could have got hid under here. Hid. You get the idea. But I did find one cool thing that's in the house. I found just literally, it was right on the surface here, like about a month ago. I found a button back. So I don't think there's any back marks on it, so it's going to be tricky to date. But it looks, it looks like something like maybe late 1800s to me, not super old. Could even be 1900s. I don't think it's colonial. It's not a flat button. But yeah, I found a button back randomly under here. So you never know. But anyhow, I'll kind of quit rambling. Just been keeping busy and trying to get at least, watch my head, try to get at least 1 or 2 videos out a week right now for the main channel here. But everything's good, and I hope you're all doing well. So enjoy the digs. There's some good things mixed into this video I think you're really going to enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one. Just briefly before we started, here's a look at that button back that I found. Can't see any distinguishing back marks on it. But pretty interesting to find laying on the surface back there in the pig pen. No idea how old it is, but pretty neat. So the first location I'm hunting in this video is a skull built in 1968. Not normally somewhere you would look to find old coins and relics, but there's a lot of acreage, and it's kind of on the front portion by an old road that you would have to travel through to get into an old town where I've had a lot of success before. And in the past, I found a nearly 200-year-old button out in the fields in front of this skull. So I found a few neat odds and ends, and here it is. Alrighty, so after picking up 2 full pull tabs for like the 1970s/1980s style, I pulled out this big chunk of brass, which is quite peculiar. It almost seems more like old home site trash than at a skull. But even though the skull isn't all that old, I did find a flat button here before. There was some Civil War activity in through here, and homes going back to the mid-1800s as well. Mid to late 1800s. So you just never know what's going to pop up. But apart from that, just got a coin here in the middle of this field. Way in the bottom end of the property. And it is a 1968 dime, which is the same year the skull was built. It's on top of the hill here. So hopefully there's something a little bit older. I'm surprised I'm finding coins the whole way down here. I guess kids used to play down on the bottom of this field, but just pulled up a copper penny that looks like it's been hit by the mower. Then I got one from 1964. So we're heading into the days previous to the skull. And also down here I got a brass shell casing. That could be from World War II, around in there, but it may be a little bit newer as well. I'll keep searching. Might be something cool down here. So I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's one of the biggest pieces of brass I've ever found. Weighs several pounds. Very heavy. It was obviously a very loud, high conductive signal, but I wanted to check it out. No idea. I'm sure somebody knows and has already commented by now. So I'm here in the bottom field next to somebody's property that's over on this side. Now the house that sits up there is not all that old. It looks like 1970s brick. But I'm finding like farm trash down in here, and I don't know how old some of it is, but you know, I found some like old bleach caps and stuff you find around the old farms. But right here, I'm not sure. This might say whiskey. I have to unfold it more. But it's got a little picture on there as well. So I'm not sure what that's off of, but yeah, all kinds of old like farm type trash in through here. Maybe there was an old home site sitting out in this field at one point. Who knows, but I'll keep popping the stuff, see what else comes out. Wow, well I'm glad I'm digging all these crazy big signals. There's relics down in here. I just got the front end of an old truck. That is awesome. That's old too. Check that out. I'll have to clean that up later. Sweet. My camera's about to die, but almost 4 inches down in this tall grass. Got another one of those early memorials. I think it may be 1961 on that one. So on this next hunt, I met up with Jerry and we drove out into the country in search of some older properties. We weren't able to get into any that were super old, but we ended up door knocking a 1935 stone house, which was really cool, and the finds ended up being older than we expected as well. It was a pretty good hunt, and here's the footage. So under this pine tree right here, I just dug up what I think is an old dog tag. I think it says 1966 on the bottom. You can't see it real good, it's drying up now. But I got a pouch full of maybe 4 or 5 wheat pennies already. So pretty cool spot we're at right here. A lot of old pennies coming out and some other bits and bobs, so we'll keep at it, and if I get anything else, I'll holler. All right, Jerry's on the board here. He got a nice signal, and I checked it. It was going between penny and dime. The house wasn't built until 1935, but a lot of the coins dropped here are the earlier ones. Let's try to see if I can get it in view here. It's a beautiful 1920. I can see the date on it there. No mint mark. Decent detail though. That's a beauty right there. 1920. 99 years old. Sweet find, Jerry. Okay, I had a bouncy signal here. It came in really weird, but in the upper 70s. You can see I popped my plug here. You see this imprint, but I looked down in the hole. I see a penny here and a penny here, and I can see the wheat ears on the back of this one. So this is an old spill. Wheat scent right there. Let's get this one. I can't see on the back of that one, but it's not raised up like the memorial, so we're gonna say that's 2 wheat pennies right there. I'm gonna set them off to the side, and we're gonna get the pinpointer going and see if there's more. There's more. Let's see. Let's go right here. Sounds like more. Did I scoop one out? Oh no, that's why the signal was weird. Huh. This is an awesome spill.
What do you have?
It's an old jack. A kid probably dropped all this stuff. So there's 2 wheat pennies. That's an old jack. Let's set that there. That's really awesome. This had to have been an old kid spill. It's one of the old toys. I'm sure most of you know what a jack is. I used to spin them as a kid, and I used to play jacks. But I think that's it. 2 wheat pennies and an old jack. That's awesome. All right, hopefully silver on the next one. That's why the signal was weird. That jack's iron. Well, it's a bit crusty, but let's see if it still wants to spin. Let's see, it's going to be easier to grab this side. Let's do it. Yeah, a little bit. Let's try it one more time. Give it a nice good one. There we go. Not too shabby. All right, Jerry just popped out this bracelet that looks like it's some sort of plated material. I'm not sure what kind. And as he was digging that, he's digging something now. I got this old lid. I can't remember what this little emblem means, but I've seen them before. Looks fairly old. So yeah, we're pulling some coal finds out of here. We're still getting some wheats randomly. Oh, that's a coin.
Wheat.
That looks like an old one.
20s.
1920 something? Yeah, let me grab it. He just
It was higher than that.
Yeah, he just dug a 1919S a minute ago, which is a century coin. This one's got a lot of detail. It's 1926 Philly. Sweet. So between the two of us, we got maybe about a dozen wheats right now, and still pulling some relics.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I got an interesting find here. I had a faint signal in an area of the yard that we think is mostly fill, but I had a faint signal down about 8-9 inches. I went down. It's a complete amber bottle, and it still has the lid on it, which is what was being picked up. It looks pretty plain. There is a mark on the bottom. It's not super old. It's probably 1960s, or 50s, could be around in there. But pretty cool find. I don't think there's anything in it other than a little bit of liquid, but I'll clean it up later. Neat find. I'm searching by these trees over here on the edge of the property, and pretty trashy over here. I got a pretty cool find. Surface find. I just had to part the grass. Got a big brass Yale padlock. That is heavy. Not very old, that's for sure, but it's definitely cut. Nice hunk of brass anyway. I will keep searching. I just looked around the clothesline back here. I found a copper penny from the 1970s, so I don't think it's all that old. Okay, it's been a little while. Down here by the driveway, found a coin we missed. We keep going back and forth. I'll show some of Jerry's stuff. He's got some cool relic bits. He got a copper ring and some other cool bits and bobs too, but there we go. First year issue memorial, 1959. Haven't been finding many this year, but maybe we're getting started now. I think that's number 2 for the year, that is. Okay, it's spill day for Jerry. This isn't the first one he found either. He got an older clad spill up toward the house. We're in an area where there's a lot of fill. Look at that. 2, 4, 6, 8 dimes. Looks like most of them were stuck together. See if there's what are the years on them? I think that one's 69, but probably just randomly in there. Gee, I dropped one back in. Let's see the age on this one. 84. So yeah, they're not super old. Let's see what the newest one is.
2000.
Oh, 2002, yeah. But yeah, this is Phil in the front yard, so yeah, you could have been down there 10 years. Good find, Jerry. This is just going to be a brief recap before I get into the next hunt on this video, but ignore anything outside of this line right here. It's my finds from my last video, which you'll definitely want to see that one if you haven't. But anyhow, man, this 1935 house really put out the older finds pushing the limits, which almost makes me think that it was a little bit older. This little front lawn had some really old stuff in it. But anyhow, I can't remember exactly, but Jerry ended up with the 1 silver dime, and I think he found a couple more wheat pennies than I did. He ended up with, like, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 9 or something like that. But for the modern coins, I got 1 quarter, 1 dime, a bunch of copper pennies, some from the 60s, and of course I've got that one first year issue 1959. I got that 1 dog tag, which is really beat up. It is a 1966. I actually think it says Florida on it. It's weird how I find dog tags from all over the country, but this soil was really eating the stuff up. This I found, I'm not sure what it is. I broke this little piece off when I was trying to straighten it, because you kind of have to hold this part to bend, which is more fragile. So I'm not sure exactly what it is. You'll just try to have to envision it folded back out. But it does have some verbiage on it. It says gem, really big, G-E-M, and then it says Brooklyn, New York, made in USA. So if anybody knows exactly what that is, please let me know. I got that old jack, which is awesome, and there was just some other bits and bobs I threw here. There was a lot of trash in that property here, but I just threw a few bullets here. That one, a couple of the brass casings, some pottery, and the 6 wheat pennies I found, man, they are old. They were sticklers to clean up, But surprise, surprise, the earliest one was 1910. Unfortunately, no mint mark on that, or it would be worth a little bit of money. But we got a 1910 Philly. That one's hard to read. It's a 1918. I got a 1925. We'll skip to the last one. The newest one was a 1945, and it was these two that if I remember correctly, were in with that jack. A 1924 and a 1927 with amazing detail. So these are some old coins, you know, considering the property was 1935, and this was in the hole with two wheat pennies from the 1920s. So this jack is literally close to 100 years old. Pretty crazy. Oh, and I also found this modern key too. I forgot to put up on the board. So that was the hunt. It was a pretty awesome one. That little stone property, you know, all river rocks out in the country. Love those style of homes around here in Tennessee. There was a lot of them built kind of around the 1930s, kind of coming out of the Depression era. But they're really unique, and I didn't get a chance to show this one. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed, and on to the next time. Alright, so the roots from this tree are horrendous, but about an inch down right there. That's the first coin apart from a shallow zinc penny that got hit by the lawnmower. Not sure how old that one's going to be, but it's copper, so it's not going to be older than 1959. Not much here at this permission, but I'll show you guys what I got here in a second. Mostly trash, but a few odd relic bits. Okay, so this corner permission was rough. There's a quick shot at the house there, built in 1949. But it's in a historic district, so there could have been anything there. Unfortunately, it's all filled in from extensive groundwork. But it's really weird. There was a couple deep mason jar lids in the front yard, which is kind of odd for the front lawn of a residential place. Normally you find them in the backyard. But they had dug up a lot of areas for pipes, and there was a couple of these mason jar lids with the zinc insert still on them, which is what gives off the signal. Just a weird piece of metal there with some blue paint on it. One lawn-mowered, corroded zinc penny. That's got to be one of the worst pennies I've ever dug. One copper penny. Didn't clean it up to see the date yet. Hopefully it's from the 60s. I got one tiny little modern aluminum button. It may not even be a button. It may just be a piece of junk. A couple bits and bobs. This was just from like Christmas lights or something that was on the surface. And that's it. Just from scrap. And then under the trees at the very end, I decided to dig this out. It took me like 10 minutes, and I'm exhausted from digging that target out through all them weaving roots under that one tree. Worst kind of tree to dig under. And I got down to it, and it's this copper tag I got to clean up. Might be interesting. That's about the extent of that permission, and it was sleeting while I was out there too. So it looks like the rain/snow is coming a little bit early. It wasn't supposed to be here for another 2 hours, so that might be it for today, but maybe I'll door knock another small place. So that copper tag is quite peculiar. It says RSTY. I would say that was a 2, but it looks more like an upside down 7. And then ES. So I got nothing on that one. Answers in the comments. So the next part of this video, you're going to see me metal detecting in a park around where an old home was tore out. A very old home site. May I add. Now, when I first moved to this area, I had detected it a few times, and it had been gone over extensively by other people with metal detectors, I'm sure of that. But in the past, I was able to squeak out a 1935 mercury dime and actually a semi-key date 1921 S wheat penny. So there was still a few goodies left here, and after a good rain, I wanted to give it one last shot. And here it was. You get the idea. So my first interesting target was this piece of metal that was quite deep, 5 to 6 inches. It's got a hole through it there, so I'm not sure what that came off of, but right here, about 3 inches down, I got a piece of brass that rang up kind of like a penny. But if there's some signals like this left in here around the home site, I assume there could be a coin missed in here as well. Today is perfect hunting conditions, nice moist ground, so we're going to keep at it and see what we can pull out. I think we're going to find something today working between all the iron and trash between... I think we're going to find something today working between the iron and trash in behind where the home used to sit, which is right in between these trees. And because the ground conditions are perfect and the signals are really locking in. But anyway, I just chased this that was about 5 inches deep, just an old like aluminum lid off of a can. But in the hole, I mean, my goodness, in this backyard area here, look at all the glass and pottery. Well, not glass, but like porcelain from a mason jar and then some pottery bits just in that one hole as I was digging, and I pulled a nail out too. So I'm just gonna keep popping targets back here, and I think we'll be onto something here shortly. So I came way down toward the bottom of the hill here and working my way around the last 15 minutes. Haven't found much other than some scrap, and I found a 1979 copper penny down along this edge here. Had another coin here, only about 1.5 inches down, and it's a nickel. It's not too incredibly old, 1971 I think, but it is a coin. So I'm going to keep working back up toward the home site now and see if I can get into the more relic type stuff. I've just been digging some more scrap. I got this huge, what appears to be some sort of zinc lid. It's not a mason jar lid. It's down over here where I think they tore out the barn because there's a lot of iron and different stuff in through this patch here, and you can see it's a different type of grass. But I'm working kind of down into this pit here on the back of the hillside, and I think we got our first decent find. Came in a solid 77, a few inches down, wouldn't budge, so I had a feeling it was going to be something. And it's a button, and this is an old one. It's got to be from the old home site here. I'm not sure the age of it. It's been torn down ever since I lived here. But you can tell it's been gone a long time. It's not a flat button. That could be 1800s though. I assume this home site for the area I'm in is close to an old mill. I'm assuming it's at least, at the latest, a late 1800s home that was sat here. But I'll clean that up later. It's got the full shank on it. That's definitely an oldie from the home site, not from this park. Awesome. I'll keep combing this hillside. Okay, this is pretty funny. This is one of the original style pull tabs that were only made from 1962 to 1964. Look how big that beaver tail is on the end of it. I'm not sure if it's gonna break. Oh no, it straightened out there okay. But yeah, that's the design they only made from 1962 to 64. I don't think I've ever found one that still had the tab on the back of it. I normally just find this piece here. I found a few of those, but mostly just this piece. That's pretty funny. It's collectible. Antique, $50 or best offer. So that's all the metal detecting footage I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it wasn't the most eventful video I posted. I actually do have a lot of other good hunts on the way. I've actually made it to 30 silver coins for the year, and I think all of you have maybe only seen maybe 15 to 20 of them so far. So there's a lot of good stuff on the way. Some of which I haven't posted because I'm trying to edit really long videos, multiple hunts put together for just one long epic video. And for some locations, I've actually had problems with people trying to get into my permissions. So there's certain hunts I won't post until I'm fully done metal detecting them, which sometimes takes the span of months. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned. There's more awesome stuff on the way. I'll see you on the next one. Happy hunting and goodbye. Shh.